Let's explore how Jupiter direct in the sign of Cancer impacts all 12 signs from Aries to Pisces. This video is a reading for all 12 of the different signs. So I would encourage you, if you have not seen my video on Jupiter direct in Cancer for the collective, I will link it down below. I will do things to make it so you can find the video. It is in this podcast if you're watching this in the vastness of Google Podcast. I would really highly encourage you to go watch the video because it's going to give you a good understanding, like a holistic understanding of what this transit means. And I think that you're going to be missing some things if you do not go and see that video. So it's kind of like I'm telling you to go do that. Of course, if you're busy or whatever, or if you don't want to, but I would just really encourage it with these forecasts. And I would say, watch the Jupiter direct video. Either watch the Jupiter direct video on its own, or if you're watching both, and if you're watching the 12 sign reading, go back and see that Jupiter direct video, especially if you're interested, if you are interested to know more about the astrology of that period and what I discussed for everyone in that video, in that podcast episode. So I'm going to get right into it. Follow this for your sun, moon, and rising sign. There is, you can go to astro.com and calculate your birth information there. There's Cafe Astrology. You can find all these free resources to calculate your rising sign if you don't know your rising sign. So without further ado, I want to jump right in to Aries. Timestamps are in this video, so you can just jump to your sign, and so you don't have to, you can kind of short circuit the video by not having to watch the whole thing of it. So Aries, this Jupiter direct is going to be having you get your life back together again. Like, you just find like this new energy, this new spark of life. Like, you can, like, Aries is like the spring, and think of the flowers coming up in spring. It's like new life. You feel regenerated. You feel revived. Aries comes in to revive the winter, to revive all that dark, cold period of the winter. So you can really step into really picking up the energy, and like you're very good at doing. And you may find that you just have new energy that you didn't know that you had. That during the retrograde you were kind of in the reflective superfit, but now you're like, wow, I have all this new energy, so it's time to use it to your advantage. Aries can be so focused on its own life and its own goals, and going out into the world and achieving things that it lives like it's its only one, and nobody else is there that has an impact on Aries, that has a significance on Aries, including family, because Cancer, Jupiter's in Cancer, is squared Aries. The square is about being independent, being very much that way, versus being connected to family. There's a saying that I was seeing from a movie about a Darman movie about influencer who became so obsessed with social media. She went back to her old job at a store, and she said, don't forget where you come from. Aries, do not forget where you come from. Do not forget about connecting with your family. Do not forget about connecting with your roots and connecting with the people that birthed you into this life, that kind of impact your life and make you who you are. Like, Aries needs to understand it is a lot about you, but there are others in your life that make you who you are, including your mother, and you would not be here if it was not for your mother, because Cancer deals a lot with the mother and connecting to the mother, so building a connection with that is very important. You would not be here if somebody else did not birth you into being. So, you're connected to this person, so you might as well build that connection and, become very close to that person in that way. Another thing is, Aries is here to learn how to not be so self-righteous and low coming from the external place. Because when Aries is operating from ego and self-righteousness, it is living from the outside in. When Aries is operating in just having, believing in itself and having a healthy dose of confidence, it is living from the inside out. It is connected with its identity. It's connected with what it wants, and it is not so concerned with the out there. It is more what is going on internally. So as much as this is also about connecting with family, this is also about believing in yourself and having healthy confidence that you actually achieve what you want to achieve, that you do have the confidence to go out and make things happen in your life. And also getting aligned with the direction that you want to go. Because Aries is, very much a goal-oriented energy. Like I have this, because Capricorn is like long-term goals and serious goals, but Aries is like, I want something. It's like anything that you want at all. Like, it's very, very simple. I want it, and I know what my direction is. Like, if you're kind of suffering from the shadow of label, like you're indecisive and you're unsure about yourself and your identity, Aries is here to be strong in their identity. So this is about going in the direction that you want to go in, boldly heading in that direction with what you want to attain in your life. Taurus. Now, Taurus is so much into the routine, so much that it can feel draining, that it can feel limiting, that it can feel just suffocating. Like at worst, Taurus is suffocated and constipated because of this familiarity, that it just doesn't know how to get out of that. And Taurus is very, very uncomfortable with out of that, even if it's uncomfortable. Like, it will stay in there till the bitter end. Like, even if it's the shadow of Taurus is, even if it's just so uncomfortable in the shadow and the soul saying get out, it just doesn't want to do it because it's just so scary to leave the nest, so scary to branch out and try new things because it feels scary. I'm familiar. Taurus is very much about routine because of the material security of that, because of the bodily security of that. So this can help you get unstuck from that rut and get out there. I would also say that during the retrograde, you really reflected, during Jupiter retrograde, you reflected on what you value, what matters to you in your life, like, your family, or your, the food that you eat, or money, or all these things. Like, you reflected on these values, you did the contemplation, and do these values serve my growth? Do they help me evolve, or are they keeping me in a stuck and stagnant place? This is very, very common with people who have Taurus moons. If you have a Taurus moon and you happen to be watching this, then welcome. The thing about Taurus moons is they need somebody to rely on. They need somebody to give them a bath. They need somebody to give them the meal. They need somebody to give them the flowers that they put in their room. Like, they need somebody to rely on, not so much in an emotional way, but in a material way, because Taurus is material energy. It is the water earth sign, therefore Cancer is the earth water sign. The two signs are very much about the home life. And so, and nurturing in a way, but just in a different way. Like, Cancer and Taurus are a match made in heaven. They have a lot in common, quite a bit. And so, did you have a mother growing up that you could rely on? Did she provide for you? Did she bring home the bacon and, make the money and make the food and attend to your material needs? Or did she not attend to your needs? As Taurus needs those material needs to feel secure inside itself. And so if you didn't get that, if you didn't get taken care of in that way, then you're asked to really look at that now. And can you count on family? What can you depend on? Can you rely on? Can you count on family? Like, are they a solid rock of reliability for you, like you aim to be? Like, it's a two-way street. You provide the solidity, and you receive the solidity back. It's giving and receiving. And so, can you count on your family to be a stable force, because that helps towards self-worth. It helps towards feeling of comfort and security within itself. Or is the family very, very unstable? Like, Aquarius is just so unstable. It wants to, it's a not so stable energy. It wants to revolutionize, get out of the box, be very, very quirky, be, very much about liberating and changing on a dime, and just changing up the status quo in a moment. Taurus is not comfortable with that. So that's why there's a square between Taurus and Aquarius. And so maybe your family did have a lot of Aquarius, they did have a lot of energy in their charts that were causing them to be unstable. So looking at, was your family very, very unstable? Well, you couldn't just rely on them. So that's something to contemplate. And, Jupiter in directing Cancer is about reframing your emotional narratives. And it can be narratives around your body that you need to change, like being more secure in your body. It could be narratives around money, like I can't have enough money. Money is a complication in my life. I don't make enough money. I'm not prosperous enough. So, like, you see, these narratives of the material things, Taurus is concerned with the material world. So any narratives around the material world really, really impact you, and that's what you want to consider reframing now. Gemini. This transit of Jupiter directing Cancer will assist you with getting out into the world, socializing, connecting with others, putting yourself out there. That's one of the benefits of this. Another thing of this is maybe, this is the thing with Gemini, is that, especially Saturn in Gemini is very, very common. Ask yourself, do you have wounds around not being able to express yourself growing up? Do you have those wounds, Gemini? Like, did you grow up and feel like you couldn't just speak your mind? Like, you couldn't just share your thoughts and get your thoughts out and vent, or, connect with the people in a way to form those, very, very healthy intellectual connections, like getting those wounds looked at and healed, and then being able to articulate to this person, having the courage and the bravery and asserting yourself to say to this person, I feel like you limit my speech. I feel like you do not allow me to express my thoughts. I feel like you hold me back from being my true self. Like, this is the kind of words that you need to convey to them, because nobody reads anyone's mind. So you have to convey to them and use your intellectual skills to convey to those people that you need their support, and you need their listening ears, and you need them to be open and receptive to what you have to say. Another thing is being so caught in the little details, like the things about the shoe, the things about the clothes that they're wearing, about the plans, the engagements, not so much obligations like Capricorn, but so let's say you're going to meet somebody in this place, and then you say to another person, I'm going to meet you in this other place, and then you're just scattered because you have one meeting and then another meeting, and that's another way that your mind can be very, very just scattered and ungrounded. So that's a very, very common theme that I will probably continue talking about with Gemini energy, is feeling scattered and ungrounded throughout these videos. And so facing the fear of others, all these interactions, like, ask yourself, do you really want to be at this place? Well, like, you may say that because it feels like intellectually right to do that, like logically right, and the idea of that feels right. But what does your heart want? What is your heart trying to tell you? Is this the right place for me? Are these the right people for me? Is this a good use of my time and my energy to engage with this person at this place? That's a good question to contemplate during this time. And then Gemini is kind of all over the place. Security is very, very important. So having something like intellectual, like a book that you're continually reading that you're so familiar with and you're reading it till the end. Like somebody in your life that you can rely on. Having someone in your life that you can count on, that you can rely on, and not only forming a connection that is not only so high up, in the intellectual realm, like you connect great on the intellectual, but it's like, it's one thing to connect on the intellectual level. That's part of relationship, but there's also the emotional element of relationship. Once you get past the intellectual thing and you move on to someone else, just catch yourself. Don't move on to someone else. Instead, drop in, help yourself to connect to your emotions, and be willing to connect with others in emotional ways. Connecting with others in that way, okay? And speaking of emotions, we're moving on to Cancer now. So, Cancer. This is all about getting out of, because Cancer can be so caught in all its emotions, of all the feelings, of all the feels, like, continually riding the waves of these emotions and not knowing when to get off and go to the shore. Not knowing where the shore is, not knowing where the beach is. You're just riding the waves uncontrollably, and you feel like you don't have any safety because the emotions just overwhelm you. Like when you're riding the waves, you don't have a surface to come back to. You don't have footing. You're just swayed and all about, and then you feel really just scared and just drowned and not grounded. Like it's essential for Cancer to be grounded in their emotions. So getting out of the messy emotions in that way, but also seeing all the sorrow, all the anger, all the frustration, all those things, and look at what you can gain from those emotions. Like look at the grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. The things, elements to your life, but look at what are these emotions trying to teach me about my life? What is the lesson behind this emotion? Because Jupiter is about philosophical learning and lessons. So even though these emotions are so incredibly difficult, so incredibly hard to deal with, and feel and experience, what is the lesson that I can gain from these emotions? That's a deep philosophical question that you can ask yourself with the Jupiter energy. Now, another really, really big thing is that during that retrograde period, you were asked by Jupiter, by the universe, to double down on your self-care. And now you're reaping the rewards and benefits of that, and you're seeing how much self-care you have given yourself, and if you need to give yourself more self-care or not. Self-care, like, can you ever have too much self-care? It's kind of the gift that keeps on giving. Honestly, I don't think that there is such thing as too much self-care. There is self-indulgence and gluttony, and not, being, very, Virgo-like, I would say, to put it simply. But I think that self-care is something that you can't have too much of. So you were asked to double down on self-care. Look at if you have really focused on that, whatever you define for self-care for yourself, and now's the time to move forward with that. So, sometimes you nurture others who hurt your feelings, who drain your energy, who or who just are, maybe, not only that, but it could also be your co-workers or your friends or random stranger. Be discerning about who you nurture. You're asked to be discerning and say, who are the people that are closest to me in my life that mean a lot to me, that I can put my attention on and nurture. Not these other people that I just have the desire to nurture, but the ones closest to me, because Cancer is about the ones closest to you that matter a lot, that make up your life. And family is, life to you. Family equals life to Cancer. So, this could also be so stuck in the home so stuck maintaining the house, maintaining your family. But Jupiter is an external energy, so also not only connecting with the ones closest to you, but finding, talking to them about what your goals are and seeing what advice, seeing what tips they can give you, and understanding it from their perspective for them to support you with focusing on your outward goals. Like, it can be goals that they don't have to be big goals like getting out into the world and doing this. It can be just goals at home. Like, I think that we think the goals are these big external things, but they don't always have to be. Like, I have been nurturing this child way too much. Like, Cancer's focus is on home and family, so you can't like expect the Cancer to just go out and do whatever. I mean, you can, and I will probably say that in the videos, but for this video, I want to say, maybe you've been over nurturing this child that you didn't have enough time to work on your art project at home, or didn't have enough time to redecorate your home, or prepare this dish that you really wanted to make, but it's so complicated you haven't had the time to do it. Like cooking and doing all those things like art projects, like home projects, like that's the kind of thing. Like, what are your goals? Small or big? Focus on that. Leo, as we know, if you followed astrology, wants to be center stage. It wants to shine in the spotlight and be the center of attention. And it feels it's a very conventional sign. Like, it's very, very connected to its family, not in an emotional way, but in a heart way, like it wants to be. It's so proud of its family. Leos just love to talk about their family and love to talk about the people that mean a lot to them. And in this case, we're talking about traditions that you want to take part in, that you feel proud of, that you want to take an active role in, and potentially lead in those traditions and carry on the tradition for legacies, because traditions happen, they don't just die away, they're traditions, they happen over and over again, they repeat, there's a legacy to them. So shining in those traditions is very a good tip for Leos during this Jupiter direct transit until the end of June, when Jupiter moves into Leo and for this week. So maybe during the retrograde you were reflecting, what do I want to express from my heart? Like, what do I have creatively in my soul? Whatever the creativity is, because it doesn't have to be just art and whatever the creativity is, when it comes to Leo is asked, Leo North Node, Leo Sun, asked to develop creativity. Like, if you're Leo Sun and you say, I'm not creative, well, think about the ways you are, and if you're not creative, then then find something that you are creative about, because Leo is here to be creative. Leo is here to express its creativity. And so, developing the forward movement and clarity when it comes to, you've reflected on your creative projects, now you can actually implement those with Jupiter direct. Another thing is, this is huge, putting yourself out there, just unapologetically being who you are, because that's when you can really show your heart, that's when you can really shine. When you rely so much on what everyone thinks of you and how others perceive you and others see you, with how you look, how you talk, and you're so sensitive, like, are they going to judge me? What are they going to think of me? That holds you back from being who you are. That holds you back from being your true self. So if you have been hiding yourself away, or giving the parts of you away because of the impact of others, and not just living from the inside out and expressing your true self and hiding yourself away, this is the time to say, well, I'm going to choose to not let the group impact what I decide to put myself out there, and choose to show myself as I am and be my real proud self. And the wounds that you're healing are around self-confidence. Leo is a sign that's very, very self-confident, that wants to be proud, it wants to be sure of itself, very, very, with a very positive and a very prosperous energy about itself that is self-confidence. Like Leo wants to feel prosperous. Leo's one of those signs that just, all signs really want to feel prosperous. Well, I mean, probably not all the signs, but Leo is one of those signs that is about prosperity. Because prosperity is what makes you feel happy and abundant. Isn't Leo about what you feel happy and abundant? Like Capricorn, we can associate to more material prosperity and money and goals and second house. But really, it can be a deeper spiritual thing with what makes you feel happy and abundant. And Leo is about what makes you, with Leo energy, you're asked the question, what makes you feel happy and abundant? And if you haven't been putting your time and attention on what makes you feel happy and abundant, this is the time where you can be like, now I'm shifting my focus to what actually makes me feel prosperous. Virgo. This is a big lesson for Virgo. This is a very, very big lesson for Virgo. Jupiter's expansion. Jupiter is big picture. Jupiter, when Jupiter goes direct, it's just so broad. It asks you to broaden your mind. Jupiter asks you to expand your horizons, and it's a little bit hard to do this if you're caught up in the minutia. If you're caught up in the little details of things, which Virgo can get themselves in these weeds and in these these holes that they can't dig themselves out of because they're so sucked into every little detail that they can't just expand out of the detail and get to new details and explore new things. They're always stuck in this detail, so fixated on the detail and perfecting the detail that they're not doing that. And also, Virgo is about your health and your body. And Virgo is here to take care of themselves first, but then also serve others after that. Like they say, the very, very classic example, I've used this many times before. Do not put your oxygen mask on after you help others. So Virgo is here to take care of its health, to be very, very conscious. It's both and. Virgo is here to first take care of its health. Be very, very conscious of its body. Then it is here to serve others because it is taking care of itself, and it's giving from a place of genuine desire to serve because it feels healthy in itself, and it wants to make others feel healthy because it feels so good because it took care of itself. So tending to your health, but also tending to your emotions and what you need on an emotional level can be very, very important. Okay. So, and who brings you meaning? Like, who do you want to serve? That's the big question. Ask yourself, who do you genuinely from your heart want to serve? Not that it's your duty, it's your responsibility to serve this person, but like who from your heart? Like it has to come, like the highest expression of Virgo is from your heart. The lowest expression is from the logical mind and getting wrapped up in that. But the evolution of Virgo can be, the growth of Virgo to step into the highest version of themselves is saying, I am serving from a place of genuine, heartfelt desire to do this. And it's as simple as that. And so what brings you meaning? Who brings you meaning? What kind of areas in your life do you want to be of service in? And who do you truly want to serve? The other thing is Virgo can be really, really shy and very, not wanting to put itself out there. Like really introverted because it's so critical of itself. Like if you're so critical of yourself and if you're so stuck in your flaws, how can you be proud? How can you be extroverted because you don't feel confident enough of yourself? You don't feel good enough about yourself where you can feel like, now I can put this out into the world. Now I can show the world the true me. So refrain the negative critical voices in your head. Choose to soften yourself and choose to just accept yourself as you are and look at the gifts and all the beautiful parts of yourself, like the song, No Scars, You're Beautiful, all those kind of things, and putting yourself out there. Like, now I'm thinking of A Wrinkle in Time. I'm thinking of A Wrinkle in Time, and I think it is so Virgo. It is just, the movie is very, very Virgo Scorpio, because the girl Meg did not want to be herself. She was ashamed of herself. Throughout this whole experience, she discovered herself. She found herself. She reframed herself, and she discovered the power that she has, the beauty that she possesses. And she loved herself. And as a result, her tessering from the other planets to Earth became so graceful and so fluid by the end of the movie. You know, and, you know, Mrs. Witch, you know, from the movie, like, you know, there's certainly others that can help you, like, you know, Mrs. Witch, that can help you, you know, inspire yourself to, you know, become, you know, who you are, and be, you know, yourself. But it's also you, like, it's like, where are you in your life, you know, in the realm of the it, and your brother is stuck, someone you love is stuck in peril because of this monster, and you want to free them from this monster, and so you all of a sudden start saying these things that you didn't know that you'd say before, of, you know, defending them, and validating their emotions, and validating who they are as a person, as people, and so you free them from that monster. Because, you know, you're doing that, and that is a way of serving others. Like, it doesn't have to be just action, it can be through words. Like, you can see where I'm coming from. Like, if you focus on, you know, who you are, and you know, serving, you know, serving, you know, helping yourself, then you can help others in that way. So, moving on to Libra. Now, the big thing with Libra is, it takes the world too seriously. I mean, other signs do this. Capricorn's certainly pointed this. Virgo is certainly pointed this. But taking relationships so seriously, like taking others' opinions so seriously, like comments on YouTube. Like, I do not take comments that I get on my videos so seriously. I don't take it so personally. Because it's just, you can't please everybody. Just understand, they are them, they are separate, but you are you in your body, in your identity, and only you know you. Like, yes, be connected to your relationships and all that, which you're already natural at doing, but this is asking you to not take relationships so seriously, and you know, really look at, you know, how they are separate from you, and not letting their opinions get the better of you from expanding out and exploring, and whatever endeavor you want to experience. Another thing is that Libras just cover things up. You know, they put on this, you know, very, very charming demeanor. Like, everything is fine, and everything is light and love, and everything is just so happy and just so balanced and all that. And they try to put on a smile. Like, Libra, they say grin and bear it. I disagree with that completely. Like, because Libra is trained about social etiquette. Libra is trained to put on a smile. You're supposed to present yourself in this way, in this social situation. And, you know, to this people in relationship, that you want to please the other and maintain peace and happiness. But you know what? It's superficial. Happiness is not the only emotion. There are also deep, vulnerable, real emotions that maybe you're not allowing yourself the freedom to express. So let go of trying to uphold this image of always having to be perfectly charming and perfectly appealable to others, and just say, you know, no, I'm being vulnerable. I'm letting you know about what I'm feeling, and I'm not hiding my feelings. And another thing is, you know, just the whole thing about people pleasing. Are you people pleasing in a way where you're nurturing somebody that is not good for your energy, that keeps you from being yourself, that drains you? That you just are around this person and you cannot find a way to harmonize with this person. And you have to accept, if you haven't accepted this already, you cannot harmonize with every single person in the world. You cannot expect yourself to get along with every single person and maintain a perfectly image of getting along with every single person, because everyone is different, and you're going to get along with some and you're not going to get along with others. Like, that's the truth of life. And so I just want to express that to you. If you're watching this, especially Libra risings, because that's like your soul and what your soul is all about, and your sun sign, your ego, like all the three sun, moon, risings applies to them very, very equally. Nurturing someone who doesn't feel right to you, or are they nurturing you in, are they nurturing you in unloving ways? Or are they also nurturing you? Are they nurturing you in what oh my gosh, I want to make this point so badly, because Libra should be taught about peace and harmony, not in a conditioned, suffocating way, but in a way to those who are genuinely peaceful, compassionate, harmonious, that are real and authentic within themselves while acting on these qualities, not through the conditioning of family that you have to keep the peace, and you have to present yourself a certain way, and you have to learn how to harmonize, and all these lessons. Like, I think that Libra should get out of this conditioning of being taught to just, be kind to others because you were negatively, drawn into that and pulled into that and conditioned into that. Any wounds around you being yourself. Like, if there's any wound about your being authentic self and others suppressed it, now's the time to heal those wounds. Moving on to Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign that just wants to suck the juice out of life. Scorpio wants to make the most out of life. It's like, can we have a whole factory of oranges instead of just one orange? Can we have a whole chocolate factory instead of just chocolate? Can we have, can we go to all the places in Italy instead of just one place in Italy? Like, it's like, it's very, very extreme. Like, it wants to, and with this, it takes excessive risks. Like, it's a risk-taking energy because it wants to feel the adrenaline rush. And I have a Scorpio ascendant, so I know this, and I have done this in the past. And I made a video about it on my Real Me podcast where I was going into, do not judge me for this, that more information is over there. I took a risk, and I have a Scorpio South Node. I risked going... going into a skate park and associating with people that are not, who don't have my common interest, or have my personality, and have my mannerisms. Like, there's nothing, in common about. And Scorpio can sacrifice its personal values. Scorpio South Node can sacrifice its personal values. And so that's a really, really huge lesson, as you were asked during the retrograde to not take so much risks, to not take unhealthy, destructive risks, to take healthy risks. Know what risks are worth taking and what risks are just destructive to you. Because at worst, Scorpio can destroy themselves. Like, they destroy everything else, but they can destroy themselves with the risks that they take. And so coming home to your home and family life, coming home to what's safe, to what's familiar. Like, use the Taurus energy of comfort and reliability. Like Taurus is comfort and Scorpio is risk. And so use the energy of Taurus, the light, wonderful side of life that is so easy to be relied on, the material pleasures that will not go away, the things that will stay there till the end of time, the people that you can rely on, they will be there with you through thick and thin. Like, coming home to your family and your home life, and those who support you and are aligned with your values, and not just risk taking and risking your life and everything like that, but connecting with your home and family life. And also, Scorpio can be kind of ashamed of itself at worst because of its shadows. because of its dark sides. It is hyper aware of its shadows. It lives in the shadow. It is completely absorbed in the shadow. And so Scorpio is here to learn that it's okay. And you can actually be vulnerable about that shadow. You can actually show your true colors to the world unapologetically in a way that feels right for you. So you're being asked to show your true colors. I'm thinking of the song True Colors now. Show your true colors to the world. Now, worse, Scorpio can be very, very depressed energy. And Scorpio can be so deep in the dark, complicated, messy aspects of life that it forgets to live. It forgets to enjoy life. Like what wakes you up in the morning? What brings a smile to your face? What makes you get up in the morning and say, I want to live today? What makes you, feel happy and, filled with joy and, and filled with just contentment about your life? Like, what brings you joy? What makes life worth living? What keeps you going? Now is the time to use your very, very focused and fixed energy to really focus on that as your docking station, as your anchor, and hold on to that for maybe dear life if you're so depressed, and put your mental energy into that, and then you'll find peace, and you'll find like it's okay. You'll find some solace and some joy and some comfort with that if you consider going in that direction. Will lift your spirit. And then, with this, what do you feel grateful for? This is such a cliche question, but I'm bringing it up for Scorpio because if you are that depressed, it's very, very hard for you to feel grateful because you're just so down in the dumps and so caught up in life is tough. Like I was depressed for the longest time about the things I did to myself with criticizing myself and stuck in the regrets, and I just made something so small, so huge in my mind. Like Scorpio can exaggerate the things in its mind because it takes things to extremes, makes mountains out of molehills. So instead, focus on here's what I have to be grateful for in my life. Okay, Sagittarius. Sagittarius, you were asked during the retrograde of Jupiter, and now you're asked to, get out of that and you really balance out being connected with your family versus being out there. But during the retrograde, you were asked to not look so much out there, out into the world, out into this next quest, out into this next place, and turn inward into yourself, to what's going on inside of yourself. Into your inner world and what your heart most wants, so how you want to grow on an internal level, because Jupiter is your ruling planet and it's asking you to grow on an internal level. Like Jupiter is your best friend in this life because it's your ruling planet, and whenever it goes retrograde, that it's Jupiter is my chart ruler, so whenever it goes retrograde, I have Jupiter retrograde, so it feels like I'm getting out into the world instead of going into the world. Going introverted when Jupiter goes retrograde. It's the opposite, based off of the astrological fact of Jupiter retrograde. But going inward, connecting with your home, connecting with your community, which is hard to do if you're so wanting to expand and you're not wanting to get stuck in the little details. But focus on turning inward and focusing on your home life and your community and whatever. Also, not being defined by others, by what others want for you. Sagittarius is here to be independent and free. Sagittarius is here to break the boundaries. Like you think of a horse that is in a boundary of a fence. It's here to go beyond that boundary. Sagittarius is the boundary breaker. It breaks boundaries. And that is why also Pisces, which is about no boundaries, is also ruled by Jupiter. Both of these signs don't want boundaries, and they lack boundaries. Sagittarius is more of a fiery, adventurous way. Pisces is more of a merging, emotional way. But in a compassionate way, like empathy is Pisces. But anyway, you want to break the boundaries. You want to go your own way. You don't want to be defined by others, and you want the freedom to do that. Well, how Moana, who is very much a Sagittarian and looks like you could stereotype how a Sagittarian looks by how she looks, by wanting to explore, not being defined by her family. Oh, you must stay within the reef, and you must stay safe, and you must stay at home. No, with Jupiter direct, you're asked to, yes, come from your family, but also go your own way and go beyond that reef, go beyond the ocean. Go to new lands and explore and new territory and all of that. Now another thing is having the confidence in yourself. Like you have a lot of faith and a lot of optimism. Jupiter direct is asking you to really have the mindset that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. Like when you set your mind and I want to do something, and if you put in the work to achieve it, if you set your mind, like where there's a will, there's a way. Like if you set your mind to it and you really commit to it, then you can achieve it. And you can, okay, so take bold action in the direction that you want to go. That's the other thing with Jupiter as your ruling planet. Capricorn. Let's talk about Capricorn now. Let's go into this whole conversation. Capricorn is the opposite sign of Cancer, so it can learn a lot from Cancer. So I want to break this down. It is so incredibly closed off. It does not allow itself to feel into its emotions because you're trained to, be told that your emotions are not rational. Emotions limit your productivity. Emotions limit you from achieving your goals. So that's the mindset of Capricorn. But the retrograde was saying to you, and Jupiter and Cancer was saying to you, get vulnerable. Like really allow yourself to lean into and share your true feelings that you have repressed in your body. Capricorn is so kind of an earth sign, but it can be disconnected from its body, like ground into the body. Use Taurus, a fellow earth sign, to connect into the body, and use your opposite sign, Cancer, to delve into the realm of emotion. Now, another really, really big point is not feeling nurtured enough, because maybe you're conditioned in this, or maybe you just have this sense like, I am the one to carry this all on my shoulders, and it is my responsibility, and it is my duty, and I'm burdened with this. I have to do the taxes, I have to make the plans, I have to climb up this mountain on my own, and I can't rely on anyone else. To where you feel like you can't receive, like your heart inside of you, the deep down, like part of you yearns for love and yearns to be nurtured and held and cared for, but you have not allowed yourself to receive this nurturing. You put up a wall to this, so now it's time to break down the wall and allow yourself to receive the nurturing from others instead of always having to provide and work and do all this. Libra can learn from this in terms of relationship, but Capricorn can get so caught up in the seriousness of its goals and how serious it has to work hard. Like, just look at the fun side of life. Like, I'm not taking life so seriously. Like, just have fun, laugh, play, lighten up, and don't always be working and stressing over, did I get this work done, and is this work correct? And then also, what traditions really make you feel at home? Like, what traditions really root you into your solid emotional foundation? Because Capricorn is so much about achieving. Like, what is the family traditions? Because Capricorn is also traditions. So what are those traditions that make you feel grounded inside yourself based off of a family level? That bring you comfort, that bring you warmth inside of yourself? So, that bring you that inner sense of security and contentment. So, surround yourself with that. Okay, Aquarius. Aquarius is here to be open to anyone and everyone in this life. So you really asked with the emotional energy to open up your mind, and not only your mind, but your heart to others, like opening up to others, not being so fixed within yourself, but opening up to others. Being open to others' ideas. Being open to not just the intellectual emotions, but actually leaning into Pisces energy next time over, which is the compassion, like I'm really feeling into what they're experiencing. Sometimes you're so focused on the collective. You're so focused on everybody else, acknowledging everybody else's problems and what everybody else is going through, that you do not acknowledge what you, as an individual, are going through on an emotional level, because you are a part of the collective, and you need to recognize that you're a part of the collective. So acknowledge those emotions. Another thing is, during the retrograde period especially, you were asked to do a lot of deep inner work on how can you contribute, how can you be yourself, and then contribute you being yourself out to the community. That's the heart of Aquarius energy. That's what Aquarius is about. It's about being yourself, and through being yourself, you are also influencing the community, like a trendsetter, for example, like someone who shows the way to the future. That's the kind of combination of the two paradoxes of Aquarius energies, the kind of dichotomy of that energy. So have you done the inner work to look at how you can contribute in your own unique way back? And just be yourself, Aquarius. Don't be limited by what the group thinks of you, and you're always having to give back to the collective. It always has to be for human welfare and whatever. But just be yourself, because when you be yourself, then you are giving back and you are influencing the lives of others in good ways. So it's just very, very simple. Just be your authentic self. March to the beat of your own drum. Pisces. Jupiter is also your ruling planet in addition to Neptune. And so you're being asked to open up to endless possibilities. Open up to the endless possibilities, like everything is possible. Open up to the faith. Like if you're so caught up in how painful this life is and how hard it is being human because of all the emotions of others and being dragged down by others' problems and whatever, then open up to the more positive philosophical version of Pisces, of your energy, which is about the endless possibilities. Now, Pisces can be very, very ungrounded. It is the least grounded of the, it is mutable water. Mutable signs are generally ungrounded. The word mutable does not mean grounded. It means changeable. It bends with the wind. Fixed signs, grounded. Cardinal signs, I would say grounded. Mutable signs, definitely not. So really coming back to your strong emotional foundations. Really coming back to those foundations that you can ground yourself in and not getting so swept up in the emotions of everything, but having a footing, like having, like I said earlier, the beach, that you're riding these waves, but coming back to the sand, like finding the sand to come back to with that. Finding that, solid footing to come back to that security. And be discerning about who you show your compassion to, because you can just show compassion off to anyone. That those may not understand you, those may not know you, and those may not know your limits and your boundaries and what drains you and what triggers you, and they may really push your buttons because you allow them in, because you're doing no boundaries. You don't want to. Pisces doesn't want to put boundaries and eliminate others and disassociate from others, because it views it as uncompassionate, when it's really you being more compassionate, because you're being compassionate towards yourself, as not only just to others, like focusing on others and not yourself, being compassionate, putting these boundaries and discernment in place is one of the ways that you can be compassionate and show your compassionate energy toward those that you actually know that you truly care about. And then a final lesson here is getting out of victimhood, getting out of that mindset of I'm not powerful or I'm not, good enough, or I'm just all, I'm just riding along and bending with the wind, and I'm not having my tree to give me roots and solid grounding. So groundedness is a really, really huge lesson with Pisces energy. So, okay, that is the reading for all 12 signs. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to this video, watching this video of the Thousands of Google Podcast. I hope that you found it very, very meaningful for you, and if you did, please share this video and comment down below. I really, really want to hear your feedback and have conversations with you in the comments about what came up for you with these videos when it comes to your reading. I really, really want to hear with these types of videos, with all my videos, what comes up for you, within yourself that you want to express. What comes up, what realizations, what, thoughts come up, because I'm curious to hear those thoughts. I'm curious to hear who you truly are because of those thoughts. And so please don't hesitate to share those thoughts. And so I look forward to seeing your comments. I look forward to connecting with you again on another video. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a podcast on Jupiter in Scorpio, which is going to be all about indulging in the darker aspects of life and what that has to do about. I'm going to probably get to the real meaning of Jupiter in Jupiter in Scorpio, and talk about what that all is about, what it means really, because I think that it can be a superficial type placement, and I want to paint a deep picture of it, because Scorpio is a deep sign. It doesn't want to be surface level, so I'm going to honor that and go the deep route with that, hopefully. So anyway, bye for now.